Hi, my name is Andre, and the area of my research is about fair trade in the coffee industry. So, how many of you drink coffee on daily basis? Can you please raise your hands? Or just like coffee? All right. So now, how many of you can distinguish certified fair trade coffee from the non-certified? Okay, so that's about right. And now let's start. First of all, what is fair trade, right? Fair trade is a movement that is focused on helping coffee growers in developing countries to export their high quality product to developed countries, to us, consumers, retailers. And they also help it educate them of how to make this product better, how to be competitive with other coffee growers out there. What is important about fair trade is that it is a growing movement. It is a growing movement. It contains for $500 billion worth of $500 billion worldwide, and it covers commodities such as gold, sugar, coffee, handcraft, and others. So fair trade there is a difference between charity and what fair trade does. Charity really just sends money to people who are in need of it, whereas fair trade helps, it educates coffee growers to create a better product. It sends children to school, it helps the families to create a better product, and in the long term to live a better life. So why coffee? Why coffee industry? First of all, as you all who raise your hands and the rest of the campus, me as well, professors, we all drink coffee. This is something that we consume on a day-to-day basis. And not just that, coffee is a second biggest industry after oil. It's bigger than industry of gold, sugar, or corn. So also, per year, about 500 billion cups of coffee is being drank. And last thing also that it is a biggest growing industry, biggest growing business right now. So there are so many coffee shops is being opened around the world. So coffee is really big, and it's worth of $100 billion right now. So we see that it is a big industry, right? So there is so much money flowing right in this industry. So why do we even need to talk about it? Well, the reason why is that we need to look all the way, where is this coffee coming from, right? And we look and we see that there are people out there who have to suffer, who gets paid a penny, basically a penny for their work, and they are thinking of tomorrow, not like us. They're thinking of how to survive tomorrow, how to pass through this year, and what they're gonna do next year. Like, they don't know. And some of them, in average, get paid around $600 per year. One would find it not enough for living for a family. So let's move to the main section of my presentation, which is about coffee growers. And I want to start with that most of my research was done on Mexico, an example of Mexico, and particularly on the example of a family coffee growers, who are the ones that are in danger. We're not talking about the big farms, big plantations, because they don't need help as much. And in fact, 90% of producers around the world are from developing countries, and 50% of those are family farms. 50% of those are family farms, and those farms are really in danger. They need help. So fair trade coffee accounts for 1% out of that $100 billion that I told you about. So even if it looks so small to you, it still helps to 500,000 coffee growers out there, which means that 500,000 growers around the world are getting help. That would that would change their life. They get being educated how to make a better product. And the reason why I tried to focus on Mexico is because it's a really good example. They have 20% of farms as a fair trade farms, which is the biggest supplier of fair trade coffee in the world. But at the same time, they have 80% of farms who aren't. So it's a kind of really good distinction to see. And most of my research was done on this particularly. So we are focusing on Mexico. And let's look at the benefits. So let's look at the farms who have signed fair trade, and let's look at the difficulties to sign fair trade, to become a member of fair trade movement. So it's not that easy. It turned out that it's not that easy to become a fair trade movement. You have to pass through certain conditions, first of all, set of rules. Fair trade requires not to have a child labor. Child labor is a mandatory, like children have to go to school. They have to go to school so that they can get an opportunity. After they finish school, they can continue working in the farm, and they can continue doing this business if they want. If they want. But if they don't, they have an opportunity to do something else. An opportunity that's crucial. That's what we have. That's what they should have as well. So that's significant, very important. Not to have a child labor. So that's what fair trade requires not to have. And also fair trade tells you what are some sort of norms that your farm should have in order to be certified. So they teach you what techniques you should use and what equipment you should use to create a better product. Knowing that, one of the benefits would be that your product is going to have a better quality. By having better quality of the product, you'll become more competitive. So it's that simple. And we're going to all drink a better coffee at the same time. So second, a really significant benefit that I think fair trade does is that it's focused on the gender issue that is out there. And it's the main focus is to help girls and women out there to get a job, and for girls to go to school. That's important. Girls should not be doing this hard work out there. They should go to school. They should get an opportunity. They may become a doctor or a teacher. You know, they don't have to do what they do. The same thing is for women. If they wish to stay, they can be educated to make a better job, to make their life easier. At the same time, to get paid fair amount. So that's gender issue, and equality is crucial. It's very important for fair trade. So if it's all so nice, right? Why doesn't every coffee grower around the world just sign for this movement, right? Well, turned out to be it's not that simple. First is that a lack of information, or not all the coffee growers know about this movement. But what is more important is that second part, is that fair trade, most fair growers wouldn't prefer to do so because they're afraid. And the key word what they're afraid of is change. It's something that we're all afraid of, change. Changing from your life from one side to another, switching majors if it's important for you. So imagine you're a farmer and you've been a farmer for all your life, and that's something you do, that's something you like to do, that's your field. And your dad was a farmer, and the dad of your dad was a farmer. That's something you believe in. And then one day someone comes to you and tells you, you know, you've been doing this wrong, but we're going to help you. We're going to do these things, you're going to follow us, and your life is going to change. Well, some of them agree, but for others, that's a big step. That's a big step that they kind of do not want to take yet. But it's from year to year, more people agreeing on this. But there is a reason why they don't want to take it, because of this change. You know, they're afraid to take another step closer. And the statistics shows that there are 7 times more potential certified coffee growers out there that can be certified, but they choose not to. They choose to go with the traditional way of doing market. But the second part also important, why people are in danger, even though they're doing a fair trade movement, and that part is corruption. We're talking about places in the world that are corrupted. We're talking about developing countries, and they tend to be more corrupted than the developed ones. And it's scary to think of that, but there is a risk that even though you're going to go to the store and buy a specifically fair trade product, it may turn out to be not to. It may turn out to be that in that country, the place that is supposed to be certified as fair trade is actually not working under conditions that fair trade stands for. And that is scary. So you would ask me, why should I even go and buy this fair trade product? Well, I'll tell you, because fair trade is working hard to exclude this. They're doing their best by putting a co-ops that would be a second hand from coffee grower to the supplier. The co-op that would see how the process is done, and that co-op is being placed in the country from the fair trade movement. So it's members of movement are being placed there to watch, to see the process, and to say that yes, this product was made in fair conditions and everything went really smooth and well. But the other people who can make a difference are you. You are consumers, same as I am. And by knowing now what fair trade is, we can really do the difference. And research has shown, by many scientists, it has shown that people who were educated of what fair trade is, they tend to buy fair trade products more often. The 90% of the participants of that research decided to buy fair trade product. So at this point, it's just up to us what difference we'll make. Thank you.